that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
You know what day it is. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS podcast. My name is the Indy Kid, coming at you with a basketball update today. Before we get into that, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Just want to drive that algorithm, drive that data, drive those analytics here. That way we can push out notifications when we may go live, when we pump out a video or anything like that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Just want to kind of get in and update you some on basketball here. Make sure you check out some videos we posted the last couple of days, recruiting videos, commitment from Brian Grant yesterday out of Florida, offensive lineman. Boogie dropped a video on that. I dropped a video last night just kind of breaking down the numbers on recruiting. And then Boogie dropped one yesterday as well regarding the commitment from the cornerback transferring from Auburn. Right there. But I want to talk about basketball recruiting and for the 2022 class, maybe hit on a little bit of the current roster as well. But so I just want to get into it as the dead period is getting ready to end, and June's going to be a big month for Tennessee for the 2022 class right here, as they've got visits scheduled right now from B.J. Edwards, who's a four-star point guard out of Knoxville, ranked 82 in the nation. Just kind of tell you about him a little bit. I think you're going to see a rankings bump out of him as well, as in one of the tournaments recently, one of the AAU tournaments. They played down at Knox Catholic. They played the Bobby Mays AAU, played a team out in North Carolina, which had the number 2 ranked player, Mikey Williams, out of the 2023 class on it. B.J. Edwards, they kind of were counterparts there. B.J. Edwards went for 33 points. And that he's definitely showing out. The big stage was not too big for him right there. So I think you'll see a boost there. And from what I've been reading on him, I think Tennessee has a real good shot to land him. Again, he's out of Knox Catholic, so he's right there in Tennessee's backyard. Him along with Tamba, the center out of Knox as well. I think that's two guys you can there was talk of him actually reclassifying Tamba reclassifying to 2021. I haven't heard anything about that. So I'm assuming at this point he'll be 2022, but obviously things could change right there because Tennessee does still have a couple spots remaining for this upcoming roster this year. But B.J. Edwards will be in. You've also got Brandon Miller, 5-star power forward out of Antioch, Tennessee, ranked top 15 in the nation right there. They're both going to be in on June the 8th for official visits. Dead period ends on June the 1st, so that allows those visits in. Tennessee also has Cason Wallace, 5-star point guard out of Texas, who will be in June the 3rd through 5th. If I'm not mistaken, the connection there comes from Rod Clark down in Texas. Not sure if it goes to an OAU team or a school or whom it is, what it is down there, but I think that's where the connection comes in there. From reading on him, it looks like right now the projections are either Kentucky or Baylor. So that's going to be, that's two very good schools to go up against. Kentucky, obviously, with their history. Even though they were down last year, they're still Kentucky, and then Baylor's the defending national champ. So that is a stacked lineup to go against right there. But Tennessee's getting hot recruiting. Not only, they finished strong with the 2021 class. Now they're focusing more 2022 at this point. And then they've got 4-star power forward Deontay Green, who plays in Asheville, who's coming in. I was reading about him, said he's planning to take off 5 of his official visits. Looks like he's got North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida State, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest at the top of his list. But he is scheduled to be in town June the 23rd through the 25th. And honestly, based on that, Tennessee's probably the closest proximity to him. But if North Carolina's involved and it's a North Carolina school, you can't ever count them out for him. Florida State, they've got a good program going. NC State, Virginia Tech, pretty good. And then, of course, Steve Forbes. A lot of us know about Forbes. And, I would think he'll have Wake Forest going in the right direction before too long. Obviously rebuilding that program. But that's 4 big players right there. Green is currently ranked number 64 overall in the 24/7 rankings for 2022, number 11 power forward, and number 1 overall player out of North Carolina. So be nice to see him get some more success. They've had some success in North Carolina here the last couple cycles, and getting Jonas Adu late this year, and his stock is skyrocketed. Of course, he'll be a part of the upcoming roster this year, but the most recent I've seen is he skyrocketed up to like number 38 overall. So, you pair him with Kennedy Chandler, Huntley Hatfield, Jemai Mashak. That's 4 guys within, I think, the top 58 right there. And then, you've got Jabonje coming in from down in Florida, number 2 overall class nationally. So the thing that could help Tennessee here as well is, the upcoming NBA draft is going to be big for them. How many guys do they have drafted here? You got to think Jaden Springer, Keon Johnson are shoe-ins to get drafted. What about Yves Pons, though? I'm curious to see, does Yves Pons get drafted or not? And especially if Keon Johnson and Springer come off the board in the lottery or in the first round. Johnson, the last I've seen is still projected lottery. Springer, I've seen his kind of fluctuate a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them at least first-round picks. That's going to be huge for Tennessee right there. That's what it's going to take to get some of these bigger players. They want to see they're getting to the league right there. And of course, it come out a while back as well that Tennessee had offered the number 1 player in 2022, Emily Bates, who was previously committed to Michigan State. I'm not really sure what took so long to offer the number 1 player, but I don't know if anything comes of it. Everything I gather right there, this guy's probably heading straight to the pros, whether he goes G League, whether he goes overseas for a year or what. And I haven't heard anything about him lifting any age restrictions or one time, go to college for 1 year or anything with the NBA right now. So it would probably be a surprise to see him go anywhere in college, but I guess you never know right there. But it's shaping up pretty good. And then just looking at Tennessee's roster for the upcoming year, if I'm not mistaken, and I've kept up with this pretty heavily throughout, but what I'm gathering is they have 2 spots available right now. Rick Barnes has said, unless it's a special case, he doesn't see adding any more players. So if that's the case, John Fulkerson's obviously not counting against the numbers total. Victor Bailey is a senior. Besides that, everybody's underclass on there. Now, could you get a transfer or something like that? I think the logical thing right here, and to be honest, so you're looking at 2 spots already. You're looking at Victor Bailey. That's 3. I don't see any way Kennedy Chandler is there any more than 1 year. And again, I've said it on here before covering recruit. You need one-and-done guys because these guys, especially when they're coming in highly ranked like that, like Chandler, you've got to think their goal is to play a year and go to the NBA. And you can't blame them right there. You cannot blame them. And, if he's everything that the hype is saying right there, he's got a real good shot at it. And it's probably not going to take much for Brandon Huntley Hatfield to go as well. He was top 10 for 2022, reclassified to 2021. He's top 20 still right there, even with reclassifying. So that's 5 spots, and I've seen mock drafts that have Josiah-Jordan James listed first round next year too. He is, of course, just a junior, but that's something to keep in mind right there. So it's, I think playing time is going to be a big sell for Tennessee. Like they're going to have a lot of spots right here, and then again, some of that they probably hit portal, some of it you're going to hit high school. You got to hit a combination of it, both. There's no doubt about it, and. The way players are transferring in and out, there's some, big players hitting the portal. You've got to keep your eyes on that portal. It's just the same. And, I've talked about it last night in football, talk about it tonight or today in basketball. I think that'll be a part of it. So they're going to have a lot of spots right there for next year, unless, maybe they add another player or two prior to the 2021, maybe somebody they see can help the squad out there. But, I'll be curious to see who else. Again, Tamba out of Knoxville. I think they're going to have a good shot there with him as well. He's a 3-star out of Knoxville, 7 foot, maybe a little more of a project. There's some pretty good prospects in the state again this year. Tennessee may or may not be involved with. The main ones that I know of, I've mentioned to you. There's a couple I'm not sure. A guy Chattanooga, Felix, I think it's Oxpara. They're listed as one of his favorites. I'm not sure, how serious they're involved or anything like that. But we'll see where they're going. That's exciting to me, seeing what they're bringing in, especially with them being close to being out of the dead period. Bringing in these guys, that's going to be big right there for the roster. So, where do they go from there? And then, already you've got Huntley Hatfield and Justin Powell. They're on campus. I would think your other guys will be arriving probably in the not too distant future. Adu, Chandler, Jabunje. A total remake, a total revamp of this roster. I'm really excited to see what this team does this year, because they had holes, they needed turnover, and they got it right there. And I think they tremendously filled this class out. I really think they've hit a lot of good aspects, and I think they're going to be better shooting, better ball handling, better inside presence. Of course, they didn't have much of an inside presence, but I really think the inside game will be big. And, hopefully we get Fulkerson back to being the Fulkerson that we know and love. Right. Obviously, we love him, regardless, but hopefully he bounces back, has his year to go out on. And I'm glad he's coming back as well. But I'll try to keep you guys updated. Any news that breaks on basketball, or, any news during visits. Right now, that's what we've got as far as visits goes. And it being June, I would think there will be more later on as well. But hopefully it can, especially it'd be nice to start out with Edwards and Miller both being big in-state guys, getting them in the fold. And, we'll see where it goes. But I would expect another highly ranked recruiting class for Rick Barnes. And, people can throw off on the on-court results all they want. And we criticized this past year. I don't think anybody was happy about it. Rick Barnes wasn't happy about it, as evidenced by going out and the roster makeover that they had. But, again, I'll keep you guys updated on any news with basketball, whether it's current roster, whether it's future rosters, whether it's recruiting or what have you right there. But, once again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Just want to plug a couple things. Again, make sure you just check your notifications, alerts, check your Twitter. If you follow us on Twitter or Instagram for any videos. Again, Boogie, he's been rolling out the videos here for the last bit, just rocking and rolling one after another. We're planning a live national championship watch party from 98 on May the 29th. I think the time we're going live on that's 7 o'clock. So we appreciate if you guys join in. Just go have a good time. Watch it. I guess relive some old glory days there. And then I'll keep you. I'm going to have an update on baseball either later this evening or first thing in the morning. We'll see what we bring this weekend. I know Boogie at least will try to bring some videos. I'm actually going up to Columbia Thursday night and Saturday to watch the Vols. Hopefully, and, if there's for some reason they can win the East Friday night, I'm going Friday night as well. So hopefully, Kentucky can help us out a little bit against Vanderbilt this weekend, and hopefully Tennessee can go up to South Carolina, which is going to be tough. It's a tough road game, tough road series, but we'll keep you updated on that. We'll definitely, if not a live show, we'll have some videos, and then we'll bring more when it gets into SEC tournament, and then when it gets into the super regionals, and hopefully taking us to Omaha right there. But lots of good stuff going on Rocky Top right now, especially with the basketball, baseball programs right there. We'll keep you updated as well. But appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys have a good Wednesday. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. I'm the Indie Kid. Go Vols.
How like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken justice in a